Hey y'all, Fuzzy Biker here at Baxter Cycle in the mighty metropolis of Marnie, Iowa on a cold day. This is a slick ramp. Look what I'm walking up to here. I don't know what this is. It's beautiful. It's an Indian, obviously. Look how long that motorcycle is. That is, that's amazing. That is an absolutely amazing. Hey, here's a sign. Maybe it'll tell us. Warranty sold as is. Ha ha ha. It is a 1927 Indian Big Chief, 74 cubic inch. Wow, look at that. You know what? We had a friend of mine restored one of these years ago. We did a video on that. It was almost identical. Let's take a good look at this. Now his was a total nut and bolt restoration all the way, you know. This is crazy good looking. There's a shifter, foot clutch on the side right there. Look at that primary there, carburetor. Amazing. There's the rear suspension right there. Chain drive, of course, 3-speed transmission. I'm not sure what that is. Oil comes down from here to distribute to the engine, maybe? I'm guessing on that. I don't know. Exhaust, of course. Flathead. Single carb on the other side. Foot brake right there. So the foot brake and the hand brake, there's no hand brakes on this one. Some of these bikes would have a hand brake and a foot brake that both worked on the back tire. So they'd have a drum and they'd have a band around the drum. So it had a drum brake on the inside and then a band brake on the outside. And oh, this has a band brake, and there is a drum in there, but or it looks like a drum anyway. But I guess in Europe they had to have 2 modes of braking. Side stand. There's a linkage for the brake right there. This is for the speedo drive right here. This setup right here that goes up here to the speedo right there. Amp meter right there. Certainly a 6-volt system. So one of these is going to be an oil tank. The other a fuel tank. I think you turn one of these to open the petcock to get the fuel down. One of these is a pump to add oil. It's a total lost oil system, I believe these are. I'm guessing that's the battery right there. I'm guessing on that. Might be a toolkit. Battery might be down there. There's wires coming out of that one. I'm not sure what that is. Toolkit maybe. But look at that engine. Absolutely amazing. Is that called a girder front end? I'm not sure. It's got the big spring. I don't know what that does at all. You know what? We'll try to push this thing out and get another look at it. Wahoo. All right, y'all. It's pretty chilly out here. Leaf spring front end. Looks like a horn maybe, possibly a siren. Headlight, of course. Generator, maybe. Magneto down below it. One of the this is probably the magneto on top. Maybe a generator down below. Oil line. Look at all this. Big old clutch hub right there. Foot clutch. Gearbox right behind it. So there's the primary right there. This is a Kickstarter. I don't know how it engages. I don't know how that engages. Let's go to the run to the chain. You know what? I'm going to say, I'm going to plead ignorance. I don't know. Oh, hey, here's a side stand. I can't get it to work. Mechanical brake. Band brake on the back. Looks like a drum. Kickstand on the rear. Rack. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Wahoo. We wrestled this thing into the vintage bike room here at Baxter Cycle. Look at this thing. It's humongous. It's absolutely humongous. Look at the length of that fender. The big old tire. I'm not sure what size those are. Maybe we can spot it down there. It's not jumping out at me. That whole girder front end. I'm not really sure what this is. If anybody knows, please post. A tool of some sort, maybe? Springs right there, the light. Look at all this wiring. You know, this is oil. Not sure what this is. That looks like oil too. Just all kinds of goodies. The shifter here. The seat, I didn't point that out earlier. That's obviously that's a newer one, but look at how it's bolt it on the frame on the top. So the frame, there's a frame tube above, there's a frame tube below. The tank fits in the center section right there. This tank has compartments in it, different compartments. These are all soldered together. A friend of mine he restored one of these. He took one of these and put it in a kiln and got the solder all soft, and then with big oven mitts took the tank apart so he could do the work to it, and then put the whole thing back together again. Let me just look at this thing. I've never seen the chromed ones like this, right? Yeah, no, I suppose that's not chrome, nickel or something like that. This is, what is that one for, I wonder? I don't know what that is. Compression release, maybe? The cam's down here. If y'all know, please post. Running back this way. This is how you adjust the chain. Big old kickstand on the back end. Check out that massive taillight. Boy, they knew how to live back then, didn't they? Running back here, the speedo drive, we already talked about that, and the brake setups and how that worked. This one actually does have a side stand. Look at that. Indian sideboards. The primary. I'm not sure who owns this. Look at that right there. I'll try to find out. And if there's any possible way we can, look at that muffler. Oh, look at this. It's got a, you want to go fast, you open this up and it'll, what do they call that? Cut out so you can make it louder. Wow. That does not seem right. That's, I don't know, there's an opening in there. So anyway, yeah, whoever owns this, we'll try to figure out what we can about if you own this, we'd like to ride it. It's good for the motorcycle, right? Of course, this is a priceless machine. Just look that thing over. So many neat details. So many neat details. Again, it's a, read what it is here. 1927 Indian Big Chief 74 cubic inch V-twin 3-speed, color red, mile 13,000 it says. I bet it's got a few more than that. Boy, that's a real amazing thing. Look at how this rocks right here. So this is solid here. This spring here comes down. There's a lever here. See, here's the actual point, or the point. The actual is actually over here. There's this pivot point here. This arm reaches over here, goes to the spring. And the other side of that arm is where the tire goes. So when this moves up and down, when this goes down, this goes up, and vice versa. Look at that. So it's solidly mounted fender, of course. Wow. Look how tiny that axle is. The center hub. Isn't that something? I suppose back in the day, a fast ride on this thing would have been 30 miles, 40 miles an hour. Really rolling, maybe 50. They certainly didn't have many good roads, I bet you. What else can we spy on this thing? We'll try to find more out about this one. The carburetor is nothing more than a air venturi with a place for gas to drip through. The clutch, I think forward is go and backward is stop. I think that's how that works. The engine has a chain that runs through here, runs around the clutch hub, that runs to the transmission. You choose your gears through there, and then it goes from there, out of the back end of the transmission to the hub, to the rear wheel, I mean. Again, just look at all that stuff. Tiny sprocket on the back. And in this case, instead of a dry sump oil system or a wet sump, it's total loss. The oil drips out of the tank into the bike. You adjust that. I think if I remember right, you adjust that with this, and you get it just right for how you ride on average, and it lets the right amount of oil. And if you do too much, it spits out too much oil. If you do not enough, well, the engine doesn't get the oil it needs. So a little bit of a trick. These, as bikes got newer, they built these maintenance things out of them, made them a little easier to live with. Quite an interesting bike. I'll do my best to find more. I might find out more about these. If y'all are interested in a newer used Royal Enfield Triumph classic British bike of any type, got a whole room full of them here. Need parts, accessories, thingamajigs, doodads. Look at all the fuel tanks up there. Exhaust pipes. Baxter Cycle in Marnie, Iowa has the largest vintage British motorcycle part supply in North America. I know that's an American motorcycle. If they don't have it, you're going to have trouble finding it. They also have parts for new bikes, so get a hold of those guys. Get yourself down here to Marnie and visit, or go to BaxterCycle.com. Make sure you tell those fine folks at Fuzzy Biker sent you. There's their sign right there. Look at that beautiful Commando. Hit like and subscribe if you would. Now, if it's a beautiful day out where you all are at, it's sleeting outside right now and cold, but if it's beautiful where you all are at, get out and ride, my friends. Life is good. Wahoo!
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Wahoo!